Hello friends, welcome to this new tutorial. Today I have here this Samsung Galaxy J737T. It's from T-Mobile I think, or Metro PCS. Anyway, so the problem on this phone is the charging port. I already tried to clean the charging port very well with the toothbrush and the alcohol. For those who doesn't know how to do it, I'm just gonna show you like quick. So you need alcohol 90% degree or more, because if you use less than that, it will contain too much water on it and you may make some corrosion or some shorts inside. Okay, so make sure you are using the right alcohol, then the toothbrush, and just scrub this place here, this charging port, very well. All right, and also if you see like there is some dust or what they call it, like dirt accumulated inside, you can use some tools, something like this, sharp, and you insert it here gently, and you remove all the dirt. Make sure don't break the pins here. There is like some pins, the teeth, so you need to pass this one on top of them and around until you make sure it's clean. But make sure don't damage your pins here, because you have like something inside, 5 pins, and the dirt it may be accumulated on top of them or in the back. So that means when you plug the charger, it's not gonna reach to touch correctly. So when you use this one, make sure don't damage the teeth. Okay, so this is the first thing. So before you start like opening your phone and going to like replacing the charging port, do this. It may solve your problem. If it doesn't, and you know that you are you did it like very well, then you can follow this video step by step, because I'm gonna show you in this video how to fix the charging ports and how to do the micro soldering, by the way. So this is a micro soldering job. I don't know if you all guys gonna be able to do it or not, but if you feel like you are not able or you're not gonna be able to do it, just give it to a specialist and let them do it instead of doing it and break your screen, because the screen is very sensitive and you may break it during the repair. Alright, so to do this job you will need charging port. For this model, don't buy any other model, because you need to buy the charging port for the similar model that you have here. If you have another J7, it's not gonna work, because this is a special one for this phone. You can buy it from eBay. It's cheap. I think I bought like 3 for maybe $7 or $8. This is one thing. So the second thing you will need some micro soldering tools. I'm just gonna move the camera and show you what micro soldering that I have. I have here a heat gun. This is a heat gun. Also you're gonna need a heat soldering gun, and you will need this tip. And everything is connected to this machine. I don't know if you will have this machine or not. Anyway, so you will need the micro soldering tools. Then you're gonna need the micro solder wire, and you will need the solder paste, the solder wick, and you may need something to hold the motherboard. Then you're gonna need a tweezers, and you will need a nice sesame to open the screen, and you will need a Phillips screwdriver and some play cards like this plastic. Make sure it's thin, very thin, because if it's thick you may damage your screen during the repair. Alright, I think that's all what we will need. So let's put this aside and we will start opening this phone. Alright, so this is the phone. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I will heat up this screen very well. Not really well, but I will heat it up until I make sure that the adhesive which is holding it in the bottom, it's activated. When I mean by activated, it will become like it's not gonna be very hard, it will be loose, so I can lift up this screen. So how I'm gonna heat up this, I will use a glove in my hand because it will be very hot. Let me use this glove here. Then I will use this heat gun first, and I will just like heat it up. Like this for a couple minutes. and make sure the phone is on. It's better because when you heat up the phone too much, you will see that the screen starts showing some discoloration here. So at least you know that there is a damage happening, so you can stop before you burn your LCD. And also you need to make sure that when you are doing this, you are doing it at your complete own risk. We are not responsible for any damage that may happen, you know, because this is very risky process. So you may like damage your phone during this repair if you are not a specialist, or if you don't have enough patience to do this job. Okay, so let's heat it up enough. As you see, I'm spreading the heat all over the phone, and I don't focus the heat in one spot because I don't want to burn the LCD, okay? Also, this frame here is from plastic, so if you focus the heat, you may melt this frame. So you need to be very careful. Alright, so I think I heat it enough. So what I'm gonna do now, I will use the IC Sami, this tool, and I will make a small gap right here. So once I make this small gap like this, I will use this plastic and I will insert it here. Then I will remove this one and I will continue the job with this. And if you feel like it's very tough or very hard, try to add extra heat and try again. By the way, this phone is already opened before, that's why if you see that it's easy, that means because the phone is opened before. So when you insert this tool here, make sure don't come to this edge here. Make sure you insert this one to this level, because if you go deep inside, you may cut the cable for the LCD here. It has a cable folded here, so you may cut it. Alright, so once you release this part, as you see, what you're gonna do, you're gonna use your finger here and you hold it. Then you will use only the tip and you slide it exactly. Don't put it deep inside. Make sure you are playing only in this edge here, because the more you go deep, you may touch the LCD and you may damage it. Don't get frustrated, just work slowly and take it easy. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now, once you release this part here all the way to the bottom like this, what you're gonna do, you're gonna lift up this corner and look inside. I will do it right now. Let me remove this glove. This edge is damaged here, so I'm just gonna cut it. Alright, so once you have this released, you can like put your nail here and you will take a look from here. You will see a white part of the LCD. You're gonna put this thing underneath. Don't push it between, because if this plastic is not underneath the LCD, the complete LCD, you may put it between the LCD and the digitizer, the outside glass. Then you're gonna like separate them, and then the screen is gonna be bad. So we're gonna put this one here underneath, as you see here, between the white and frame. Then you're gonna slide it gently and make sure you put this one very deep underneath this one, you know. Make sure don't play here, don't put it here, inside, in the bottom. I focus on this point here. Make sure this plastic is underneath the LCD. Then you're gonna just keep sliding it until you release the whole LCD, right like this. and once it's released, once you reach here, don't just keep going, because you have the cable folded here. Whenever you reach this part, stop. So what I'm gonna do now, after that, I will just lift up the screen like this, and you will see the cable here. So this is the cable that I'm talking about. Make sure don't damage it. Alright, so after that, what we're gonna do, we will use this IC Semi, and we have a small plastic bracket here. We're gonna use just the tip of this one. We will insert it here. Then I'm just gonna lift it up gently. Make sure don't just lift it up careless, because you may damage some components here, or you may damage the LCD cable. So now I'm just gonna use my nail to disconnect this one, then we remove the screen. As you see, guys, it's very easy for me because I already opened this before. Okay, alright, so we're gonna put this screen aside because we're not gonna need it. And let me mention something. So when you are like sliding this thing here, what can happen, you may stuck on this cable right here and you may cut it, or you may stuck here and you may cut this cable from here. You need to be very careful, and when you insert this thing, just try to play in this level here. And also here, you need to play only in this level here, because if you go deep, you may go underneath here, and you will separate the digitizer from the LCD. Finish this point. Okay, so let's put this aside because we're not gonna need it for now. What we will need the motherboard from here. So for the motherboard, you're just gonna open all the screws that are in this part here. And let me count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 screw. Make sure don't forget any screw here. Alright, so I removed all the screws. They are here. Don't worry about mixing them up because they are all the same. So then I will put this one aside, and I will use this IC Semi. Then I will insert it here between the frame. Make sure don't go deep inside because you have the motherboard, you may damage it. One more thing I forget to mention it, you need to remove the SIM card from here. So the SIM card is right here. Remove it first. Sorry, I was supposed to mention this in the beginning. Alright, so once you have this lifted up like this, you hold it. Then you're gonna go to the next point right here. Alright, so I removed the back frame, put it aside because I don't need it. I see that the button falls here. Let me put this button. Alright, so I put it back. Now we're gonna work on this one. The first thing we're gonna do, we need to disconnect the battery. So the battery is connected here in this part. So to disconnect the battery from here, you're just gonna push it from here. So I'm just gonna push, then the battery is out. So let's put the battery aside. Now we're gonna remove the motherboard. So to remove the motherboard, we have this cable here, and we have this cable here, we have this cable. We can leave this one here, no problem. So we have two more screws, 1, 2. Let me remove these 2 screws. Most of the times you will find the black screw on the motherboard of Samsungs. Alright, so I remove these 2 black screws, and these are different than the other screws, so you need to put them back from where you take them. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do, I will grab the motherboard from here and lift it up gently. Alright, so I remove the motherboard out from here. Then I will put this one aside because I don't need it. here. So for you, if your charging port still looks good, you can just use the toothbrush and clean the charging port from inside here. You may solve the problem, but I already did this on this phone, so that's why I'm just gonna go ahead and replace the charging port completely. So what I'm gonna do now, I will put this tool, this motherboard inside this tool, just to hold it. All right. I will use this one because I don't want to burn my mat. All right, so once I put it here, I will use these tweezers and grab this one from here. Then I will heat it up with this heat gun until I melt the solder which is holding it in the bottom. Okay, let me turn this machine on. Alright, so it's on. It's very hot now. So I'm just gonna grab this one like this, then keep holding. I'm not gonna like keep pulling or something, just hold it. Once the solder melts in the bottom, it will come off easy. As you see, it's removed. So let's put this aside. Now I'm gonna put this one aside here, and what I'm gonna do, I will clean this charging port here. So let me zoom on it so you can see what's going on here. Alright, hopefully you can see it clear now. Let me zoom a little bit more. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now, I will clean these pins here and make sure that the holes where the charging port is gonna connect, they are open, similar to this one. This one is already open, but I need to open this and this. There is another small one here and another one here. To do that, it will be like just like this. I will put some solder paste. Then I will use let me turn this and make sure this one is on. Okay, it's already hot. I'm just gonna clean it. Alright, so with this tool I'm just gonna use the solder wick. I put it on top of this, then the machine on top of it, and I will just clean it like this. And once I see that the hole is open, I will stop. Alright, if you feel like it's not opening, you can add a little bit more solder to the same place, then try again. So I'm gonna add a little bit here because this part, it looks like it's still closed. A little bit here, then I will make sure I melt it very well. And I will try again. Alright, so this one is open. Alright, so all of them, they are open now. So what I'm gonna do now, I will clean this area here to make sure it's clear. I use the toothbrush and alcohol. Alright, so now I'm going to use these tweezers to make sure that this charging port is open. Okay, the holes, all of them, they are open. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I will put the new charging port. This is new charging port. I will just place it here. This charging port has some pins here to support it. They must go inside these holes. Alright, so let me now solder these pins on this side here. Let me see. Okay, now I think it's clear. So I put this charging port right here, right? So what I'm gonna do now, I will use this solder gun and the solder wire. They will make sure I stick them together here into this pin. Then I will keep melting the solder here, and I will hold this one down until I make sure it's set flat on the motherboard, and the pins here in this part are connected to the bottom. Alright, so now I'm gonna solder the other side. Alright, so it's good now. So this side is soldered very well. So now I will go to the other side. Now I'm just soldering the support. I don't solder the pins yet. Alright, I think it's good now. So what I'm gonna do now, I will solder the pins here. Before I start soldering the pins here, I will put some I will apply some what they call it, some solder flux. I have it right here. Let me apply some here. Then I will apply a little bit, very like little of this solder here. So I just put a little bit of this solder wire here in this. I will make sure first I will clean this one because it looks dirty. Let me clean it. So it's clean now. So I will put a little bit here, as you see. Alright, so now I'm just gonna like pass this one over these pins gently. Alright, so now after I mix them up, I solder them down, I will make sure every pin is not touching to the other one. Alright, so I soldered them very well. So what I'm gonna do now, I will just clean this area here with the toothbrush and alcohol. And I will take a close look at it to make sure everything is well soldered. I'm zooming back now. Yeah, everything looks fine. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now, I will just put the phone back together. Let me put this motherboard, remove these soldering tools from here. So now what I'm gonna do, I will put the motherboard back here. Then I will connect this cable. They have another cable here. And then I will put the battery back. As you see, I'm putting the top side first. And the two screws. We have this one here. And this one right here. Alright, so the second thing I'm gonna do, the next thing I'm gonna do, I will put this phone back here. I will put the charging ports first, as you see. Then I will let the motherboard sit down. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now, I will put the screen. Make sure when you are connecting this cable, make sure it's matching 100% with its connection on the motherboard, because if it's not, you may damage the connection there. Alright, so it's connected. So now I'm just gonna test it, make sure everything is working fine before I put the phone back together. So this is the charging port. No, I need the charger for this phone. Et voila, as you see, it's charging, right? I'm just gonna wait for it to see the numbers here. It looks like the battery is completely dead. You know what? I will just continue putting the phone back together and I will charge it later. Because if it shows you this sign, that means it's charging. So I will disconnect this one first, then I will put the screws back. Alright, so I'm putting the last screw. So now what I'm gonna do, I will put some adhesive around this edge. So that's what I forget to mention in the beginning. So you need some double sticky adhesive, and you need to cover the edges with this double sticky adhesive. So what I'm gonna do, I will put one strip here from corner to corner. I will use this cutter to cut make sure you cut these corners here, this adhesive perfectly with the edge. Don't leave anything overlapping this edge. Same like this. By the way, this adhesive you can buy it from eBay or Amazon. Just buy a smaller one if you're gonna use it just for one phone or two, because this one I think I paid like $6 for it. It was big. It was this size, and they have different sizes. This one is very thin, this one is wider a little bit, and this one is wider. This one I think it's 8 millimeters, and they have this one is 3 millimeters. Alright, so now I'm gonna put another strip here. I will cover the whole thing on the top. I'm sorry, the picture was very small, so I hope that you see all what's going on. So what I'm going to do now, I will put another strip from here to here, and I will cut it evenly with this here. I'm not going to make the adhesive overlapping another adhesive here. Then another strip from this side. Make sure the adhesive is not overlapping the edges, okay? I will just use this spudger here. Make sure that the adhesive sticks very well. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I will open all the holes here that are covered with the adhesive. The first one I'm just gonna open is this one. When you are cutting here, make sure don't cut any cables, because we have the soft keys cable right here. Make sure don't cut it, okay? Okay, I'm gonna uncover this adhesive so I can see what I'm doing. Alright, so I uncover this one, then I will uncover this part here. This is proximity sensor. Make sure don't cut anything in the bottom, okay? Alright, so now what I'm gonna do, let me remove all this plastic. Alright, so now I will uncover proximity sensor. Alright, so what I opened here, I opened the camera lens, then the earpiece, then the proximity sensor. And here in the bottom, I make sure that the home button is moving freely. And also I make sure I don't cut any cables here, okay? Alright, so now I will uncover this part here, then this part here. Here in this corner we have some extra adhesive covering this part here. I will just cut it because it's gonna be on the way of the cable. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do, I still have this adhesive here on this phone, which is not sticky, but I'm just gonna leave it there because it sticks very well to the frame. So I'm just gonna leave it here, and I will make sure it's not crooked, and also I will make sure that the screen is not gonna be raised up more than the edge here. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now, I will put this, I will connect the screen cable. Alright, so I connect the screen cable, then I will put this small bracket here, then I will make sure that the screen is completely inside the frame and it's aligned 100%. Then I will let it go down. But before you glue it down, you need to turn the phone on and make sure everything is working fine, because once you glue it, it's gonna be very hard for you to open it again and try. Alright, so it's good now. So the last thing I'm gonna do, I will just plug this phone into the charge and I will leave it until it's fully charged. Alright guys, I think this job is done successfully. If you learn something from me, or if you find this is helpful, please hit the thumbs up, because hitting the thumbs up will help me a lot. Then you can share this video in your Facebook or your Instagram or with other friends in other social media, and subscribe for more videos if you like this kind of videos. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Peace.